From the PEP Radio Newsroom, this is the daily news for May 18th, 2026. These are the stories we are covering at this hour. Taiwan's president defends U.S. arm purchases that Trump called bargaining chip. Taiwan's president on Sunday stressed that arms purchases from the United States are the most important deterrent of regional conflict and instability after President Donald Trump called into question continued U.S. support of Taiwan following his visit to China. U.S. arms sales to Taiwan and security cooperation between the two sides are not only governed by law, but also a catalyst for regional peace and stability, President Lai Ching-te said in a statement. We thank President Trump for his continued support for peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait since his first term, including the continuous increase in the scale and amount of arms sales to Taiwan, he said. His statement came days after Trump raised doubts over his willingness to continue to sell arms to Taiwan, the island democracy that China claims as its own breakaway province to be retaken by force if necessary. The U.S., like all countries that have formal ties with China, does not recognize Taiwan as a country, but has been the island's strongest backer and arms supplier. Washington is bound by its own laws to provide Taiwan with the means to defend itself and sees all threats to the island as a matter of grave concern. In other news, the Senate parliamentarian has dealt a blow to the $1 billion security proposal for the White House. A proposal to fund $1 billion in security additions for the White House campus and the president's new ballroom fails to meet procedural rules, according to the Senate parliamentarian, dealing a blow to Republican plans to include it as part of a bill to fund immigration enforcement agencies for the next 3 years. Parliamentarians' ruling, described late Saturday by Senate Democrats, said that funding for a project as large and complex as President Donald Trump's massive East Wing renovation is too broad to be included in the narrow GOP budget bill, which cannot be filibustered and only needs a simple majority to pass. It's unclear if Republicans will be able to immediately salvage any part of the billion-dollar Secret Service proposal, which would fund security for Trump's ballroom along with other parts of the White House, including a new visitor screening center, additional training for agents, and extra reinforcements for large events. Republicans said Saturday night that they are revising the legislation based on the parliamentarians' advice. 4 crew members ejected safely after 2 Navy jets crashed during an air show in Idaho. That's right, 4 crew members ejected safely after 2 Navy jets collided Sunday at an air show in Idaho, a show organizer said. Emergency crews responded after the 2 planes collided during the show at the Mountain Home Air Force Base in western Idaho. All 4 of the crew members from the planes ejected safely, said Kim Sykes, marketing director with Silver Wings of Idaho, which helped to plan the air show. Sykes said the crash occurred off base and she did not see the crash but saw the smoke afterward. The base said in a social media post that it was locked down following the incident during the Gunfighter Skies air show. Responders were on the scene and an investigation was underway. Multiple witnesses reported 2 planes collided and crashed, and videos posted online showed 4 parachutes opening in the sky as the aircraft plummeted to the ground near the base about 50 miles south of Boise. And in Pennsylvania news, an untouched century-old neoclassical mansion hits the market in Pennsylvania for $2.2 million. A 22-room neoclassical mansion in Pennsylvania that was built in 1921 and remains virtually untouched has hit the market for $2.15 million. The extraordinary property, which is located in Wallingford, was originally designed for industrialist Howard H. Houston, for whom it is now named. And while it has been carefully updated in the years since its completion to bring it up to modern standards, its bones and design details still hark back to the same year of its build. As a result, the 6-bedroom estate, which is known as the Houstonia Mansion, remains one of the finest surviving examples of the neoclassical era of architecture. No detail was spared in this 22-room estate. You'll find all of the grace and charm of the time period intact with tasteful modern updates, making the home both a lovely endeavor in preserved history and well-suited for today's discerning buyer, the listing notes. With an incredible amount of original architecture elements whose quality in craftsmanship and detail is a rarity in today's builds, the home is quintessentially neoclassical. That's the news at this hour. PEP Radio is available on the Live 365 app, the PEP Radio page at paequality.com, Roku, Alexa, and wherever you find streaming radio. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.